Well, hi there. Welcome to another episode of Mr. Salick Does Art. I'm your host, Mr. Salick, and today what I thought we would do is we would do a grid composition in the style of Andy Warhol. And so, even if you're not familiar with Andy Warhol, American artist, very famous guy from the 1900s, you might be familiar with his style and seeing these repeated images. This is, of course, Marilyn Monroe. He's also famous for Campbell's Soup, Elvis Presley. He's what's called a pop artist in that he used popular culture in his artwork as the subject matter. So what I thought we would do today was we would take some cardboard. You can call this chipboard, you can call this box board, thin cardboard, but it's nice and thin. And what we can do is we can make a stencil out of this. So I'm going to be using my scissors and this cardboard, and I'm going to be making a pretty simple shape out of my cardboard, and I'm going to repeat that stencil on my page, on my composition. And so I think I know what I'm going to do for my shape. And then after we have drawn that 4 times on the page, we've outlined with our stencil, we're going to color it in different color formations on the page to give it that look that we're going for, or it looks something like that. Like that. All right, so let's see how it goes. So I've cut out my shape. If you can't tell, it's going to be a pizza slice cut out of my box board here. And the trick here is you want to make it small enough so that you can put it on your page multiple times. So I'm going for four different times. I'm going to be outlining my stencil on my page. And then after I've done outlining, I'll show you that. Here's what I got. I have 4 pizza slices outlined on the page. So I used my stencil as a way to replicate that shape to where it's the same. It's uniform all the way across. And I could obviously draw it without the stencil, but this makes sure that it's exactly the same shape, exactly the same size. So now I'm going to move on to the color. So I'm using different kinds of toppings here on each individual square, or I guess rectangle, here for each pizza slice so that there's variety. So one thing you're thinking about too when you're doing this type of artwork is you're thinking about variety. If you made them all the same, it's not quite the desired effect we're going for. So I'm going to be using different colors, different toppings, and having that variety to have that visual interest. Alrighty, so I think I'm finished here with my pop art in the style of Andy Warhol with all my different pizza slices. You can see on this one, it's supposed to be cheese, but really it's like slime green. So slime green cheese. This one is green peppers and mushroom. This one is Canadian bacon and pineapple. And this one's just pepperoni. So you can see that this one kind of has realistic colors more or less, and the other 3 are more flamboyant or ridiculous or not realistic colors. And if I bring up the image that I just showed you a bit ago, Andy Warhol with Marilyn Monroe, you see that some of them are kind of somewhat true to the actual person with the skin tone color, and then some are just ridiculous colors like the magenta, pink, and turquoise colors. So when you're adding color, think about how you're going to make it more incredible and things that are not realistic, because that's what he did in his work. And by doing that, when we talk about pop art is not only about popular culture, but in a way it has a second meaning in that it pops off the page, and so it's pop. It just popped you. A couple more vocabulary words before we wrap up here today. Repetition, and you're repeating different things, you're copying. And then also replication, which it sounds like a similar word, but replication is something that you can do where you're making a copy, you're cloning, you're doing something again, and try to make it as similar version. I'm a big Star Wars guy, so I think about the Clone Wars, and all the guys, they look exactly the same because they're always the clone of the last guy. One more word before I wrap up here is automation. So the word automation is all about doing things in a faster process. Sometimes you have mechanical elements or some sort of machines, but automation is just a way that you can speed up your process. So Andy Warhol was really good at speeding up his processes. He made so much work. In fact, he started hiring people out to do a lot of his work. And so that was a way he was able to automate his ideas and getting them out faster. And so that's what the stencil does. The stencil allows you to make things faster. I could make so many copies of this stencil so quickly, faster than I could if I was just drawing it. And then before I finish up here, just want to say that I use these art markers, and I've never really had these. These are a lot of fun to play around with, but the art markers that I have, I got a set here of 100 of them from Amazon, otherwise known as Amazon. The brand is Ohuhu. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. So this is my little marker pack. So I've only had this about a week, and it was about $40 at the time of me posting this video. So $40 per 100 for 100 markers is a pretty good price, right? It's 40 cents a marker. So that's going to do it for today on Mr. Salik Does Art. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.